There has been a rise in the media in recent years of the female gaze. Granted, this movement in art, photography, and film has been around for quite a while, but mostly remained underground until shows like Euphoria or movies like Portrait of a Lady on Fire have been popular within the Gen Z scene. Other works include Sofia Coppola films such as Virgin Suicides and the music of Lana Del Rey. And now we have the photography of Petra Collins. I wondered how not a lot of people discuss the work surrounding Petra Collins, as all of us consumers see her work almost every day on social media, music videos, and front page magazines. She's everywhere, and just now working on her directorial debut, Spiral, a film about social media's influencers spiral into insanity. So who is Petra Collins, and how did she end up where she is today? Petra Collins was born on December 21st, 1992 in Canada, the oldest of two daughters in her household. Her father was a criminal lawyer, her mother was a Hungarian refugee working with Collins' father at a pantyhose shop. Growing up wasn't easy in the Collins household. Collins' mother struggled with bipolar disorder while the father was overwhelmed by financial stress, where eventually the family was evicted from their apartment. Collins had trouble in school with dyslexia and was removed from math and reading normal classes. When she got a bit older, with puberty, she experienced body image issues, which resulted in her eating disorder. She believed that she wasn't book smart and all she had to offer was her physical appearance at that time. Collins flunked high school and was put into an alternative school where she was introduced to an encouraging art teacher, eventually finding her way into the art world. She was a ballet dancer in her teenage years, but had to quit due to an injury in her knee. She took photography lessons but hated its curriculum, so she took it into her own hands, inspired by the work of New York artists such as Ryan McGinley. She quotes, "When I saw Ryan's photos, I was like, this is really cool. These are bodies that aren't just sexual. They can move and jump. They have scrapes on them, they're physical." And it really excited me because as a ballerina, it was freeing to see that you can do physical movements that are ugly, and you can be naked. She borrowed her school's 35mm camera and started to take photographs in a sort of McGinley style. Her breakout photo was of her sisters on her bed, having a conversation and smoking. She would post these photos on Tumblr and publish them in Rookie. She expresses that she had to grow up quickly when she was a teenager. She partied a lot and dated a 30-something-year-old man at the age of 17 to move out of her parents' house. She didn't break up with him until she was in her 20s, and she expresses that she was really confused at that time in her life, thinking she was an adult, but really, in a sense, still a child in some ways. However, she began to take photography more seriously as an art form, to express her moods with the subjects.
I have always been so obsessed with movies and film, and photography was sort of the closest thing to that. And as a young girl, with no resources, taking photos was a lot easier. Growing up in the early 2000s was so crazy. I feel like it was the most wildly sexualized era. I really grew up believing that my appearance and me as an object was what was important. It's such a crazy space to live in, where like you are the thing that is sex, but you are not allowed to want it or receive pleasure. Because I was exploring my sexuality and I was seeing what turned me on or what I found attractive, but I also was also just so angry. So I wanted to make images that were sexy and uncomfortable and violent and sort of all these things in one.
When she was 17 years old, she was encouraged by an art teacher to create her a collective called Ardonius. She attended Ontario College of Art and Design, where she studied criticism and curatorial practice, and even wrote about the female body hair. This was discovery essentially what her work is today, and that is the Lolita concept of how society sexualizes girls at a young age and focuses in on gender issues in her work. Then in March 2013, she met McGinley in Toronto and became his model. And she also met Richard Kern on a shoot and became his mentee. When Petra Collins' career was starting to take off, so was Instagram. In her 20s, she began posting her photography on her Instagram, where she gained attraction around the world. However, in 2013, she posted a photo of herself in an unwaxed bikini, and her account was removed from the platform. She wrote an essay for the Huffington Post, speaking out against the media's misogyny and depiction of women's bodies. A year later, she got her first solo exhibit called Discharge, a photo series from 2008 to 2014 from the ages 15 to 21 years old, and went on to publish these photos in 2014. She became a controversial figure with her collaboration with American Apparel, where they produced a t-shirt of an illustration of a menstruating vagina on the chest. But with success comes critique, where people believe Collins is a part of the establishment because of her representation of white people. But she claims that she doesn't represent all of girlhood. She quotes, "There are so many realities of what it's like to be a woman now." Due to all the success through Instagram, Tumblr, Rookie, her collective, and her Discharge exhibit, Petra Collins today gets many calls from agencies and celebrities to photograph them for them. She has worked with artists such as Tyler Creator, Carly Rae Jepsen, Selena Gomez, and Billie Eilish, along with the majority of the cast of Euphoria. Petra Collins and many others, of course, is probably one of the most influential Gen Z artists today that most people take influence from. She's going into the film world now, which I'm curious about, mostly on a visual storytelling view. I realize Spiral isn't going to be the Citizen Kane or anything of Gen Z, but it's exciting nonetheless. I appreciated looking into her relatability and humble beginnings as an artist, and was inspired that maybe art isn't so dead as I think it is. I look forward to seeing what she does in the future. I also must express that a lot of the great information that came from this video was actually from a New Yorker article in 2016 by Lizzie Whitcomb. So I encourage you guys to read that. It will be linked in the sources below. Until then, next up I'm working on a Gregory Akari video. It's taken time because of, well, life, and I actually need to watch most of his movies just for my benefit with research and opinions. I love Mysterious Skin, but I have not seen Doom Generation and all that good stuff, so look forward to that, I guess. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.